So, Jeff, you know how much you loved Mountain Dew Fruit Quake, right?
Oh yeah, it was such a great flavor.
And you know how much you loved the gingerbread one from the year before, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. They were totally not the same thing in different bottles.
So, how about you go and open that message I just sent to you on your phone
Oh boy.
and get a gander of next year's Mountain Dew that I can't wait to make you try.
Ah, Cobra Cane.
Candy cane flavored Mountain Dew.
Cobra Cane, huh? Mm-hmm. uh, all right, I'm gonna say it. The dew has gone too far.
I'm going to say it. Garbage Day is going to be a lot of fun this year.
Uh, well, why? Why did they do that? It's just gonna be Mountain Dew Code Red with more ginger put in there.
I saw that and I was like, oh man, I can't wait to make Jeff drink this.
Ugh. Disgusting. These damn fans. They won't write any emails, so we gotta drink disgusting drinks instead.
Yep.
Oh, there's no place like home for the holidays. And no matter how far away you roam, if you pine for the sunshine of a friendly gaze, for the holidays you can.
Welcome back to Horror for the Holidays, a Christmas horror movie podcast. I'm Jay Logston.
And I'm Joe Sears.
And right off the bat here, I think we got to do one last thing before we wrap up this episode. We've got to do our Broken Bulb and Brilliant Bulb for Black Christmas 1974.
Yes, we definitely do need to wrap this up.
Yeah, so let's get...
It feels like we've been doing this episode for like 2 weeks.
I know, this episode's just been dragging on. I can't believe it took us so long to get to this point.
My God. All right, well, you want to go first? I know you love this movie.
Oh, no, I was going to have you go first.
Oh, well, for Brilliant Bulb, I would say that just the writing in this movie is amazing. Every line that these characters say seems like it was like perfectly designed to fit into this situation. And just the old house mother, how can you not love that?
Yeah, Mrs. Mack's great.
Yeah.
She's fantastic. And what's your broken bulb? What's one thing you would fix?
I would definitely fix her boyfriend not being such a creep the entire movie. It's like, have him be at least a little bit likable, not come off as a complete psychopath. I think that kind of drags down the suspense a little bit.
Oh, that makes sense. My broken bulb is nothing. My brilliant bulb is everything. It's a perfect movie. So let's get on to this week's episode. We're going to, let's deck the halls, set the scene. We're doing Terror Train 1980.
Oh, man, we got to do another one already?
Yep. So first things first, this movie stars Jamie Lee Curtis.
Who's that?
We last saw her in Halloween
Oh, okay. That little indie film.
as Laurie Strode. I'm just gonna ask you right now, Jeff. Best movie Jamie Lee Curtis has ever been in?
I would have to say yes.
Yeah, I think so too. Certainly better than Halloween or True Lies.
Oh, Jay, I wanted to tell you something before we started. I've actually gone back to school recently, pre-med.
Damn medical students. Oh man, I don't know. Is it a toss up between this and Prom Night? We'll probably see Jamie Lee Curtis again if we ever need ideas for another episode, like a random episode. We're getting sick of Christmas movies. Maybe we'll dig up Prom Night and watch that.
Oh, I mean, we're going to see her again in a few more Halloween movies.
Yeah, we'll certainly do more Halloween movies too. This movie also stars Ben Johnson, not the right back who plays for West Ham currently, as Carney. The only thing he's famous for a lot of cowboy movies.
I mean, he's definitely the type.
There's also a guy named Hart Bachner, who I thought was in My Bloody Valentine, but he wasn't.
Hart Bachner, that's somebody, right? No, it's actually not.
No, it's nobody. But I was like, I've seen Terror Train so many times that I think I just went, oh, Hart Bachner, he's got to be someone.
Can we talk about something real quick? I am getting sick and tired of you tricking me into watching Canadian movies. Yet another one where these snow-chucking northerners are trying to pretend like they're Americans. Oi, I'm sorry.
Here I am living in Chicago. I'm sorry. I guess Northern Illinois University. I think it says Northern Illinois University, which I think is a real school, NIU.
I don't know. All I know is all these people are Canadians, and this was clearly shot somewhere in Canada.
Also, there's some unknown guy in the movie. He's a magician. His name is David Copperfield. I've never heard of the guy.
Yeah, I don't know. He wasn't very good.
This is directed by Roger Spottiswoode, who also, I think, did Turner and Hooch. I think that was like probably the biggest name that he ever. This was his first directorial movie, but I think Turner and Hooch, like of what I recognize the name of, like I went, oh, I know the name Turner and Hooch because of Scrubs, and
The only reason I know the name Turner and Hooch is because of that South Park episode where Randy owns a Blockbuster, and one of the Victorian ghosts is like, "I need another copy of Turner and Hooch."
I was gonna say, I was thinking, Scrubs, where there was Turner and Hooch, and then there was that Adult Swim show Stroker and Hoop. I've never seen Turner and Hooch. Produced by David Grodnick, who wanted to make Halloween on a Train. I think he accomplished that.
I mean, yeah, I would say so. And this was an independently produced film that got picked up by 20th Century Fox.
$35 million budget. I think I also read, I don't know if you can back me up on this. They filmed it like on an actual train.
Yes, they did.
And it feels like it.
Yeah, and I know that 20th Century Fox made a point of that because they rolled out, like, for an indie movie, quite a bit of a marketing campaign. I think at the time it was like $5 million, which would be the equivalent of like, 50 today.
That's huge. I'm sure it didn't make anywhere close to its money back.
I do not think it did, no.
But no, this has been for Jeff and I both, or at least for me, and then me making Jeff watch it with me. This has been a yearly New Year's Eve horror movie watch.
Yes, it's 2 years for me, and I'm not sure how many years for
I
Jay.
think 4 or 5. But yeah, let's get into it. We'll do our synopsis here. It starts off with a fraternity party. There may or may not be someone in the background yelling "fraternity, fraternity."
God, I hope so.
There's a bunch of. We're introduced to Doc and D-Jack and Mo and Kenny and Prez. I don't know if the guy's name is Prez at that point yet.
No, it's
and
not.
Ed, and they're all partying it up.
It's your standard frat thing of, oh, look, these cool guys got to get this fat guy and this nerd laid before they can be in the fraternity.
And so Doc is gonna set Kenny up with Jamie Lee Curtis's character,
Yes.
Alana.
Yes. Let's just call her Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, we're probably just going to call her Jamie Lee Curtis for the rest of the movie. So she goes. Alana kind of agrees to go along with it, but we're already kind of clued into that this is some kind of prank they're pulling.
Yeah.
And so Kenny gets up there, and Alana's kind of standing behind a bed, and telling Kenny to come closer, and oh, come kiss me, Kenny. Kenny, come kiss me. And Kenny takes off his pants, and he's wearing yellow underwear.
I mean, appropriate.
They were white when he bought them.
Excellent.
And he goes in, he leans in to kiss her, and realizes that it's a corpse that Doc stole from the medical facility on campus.
Like you do.
And starts freaking out and twists himself up in the.
Oh my God! It's like, can we talk about a ridiculous scene in a movie, please?
Just starts spinning around and twists himself in like the I don't even know what you would like mesh that like was around the bed.
There's like some sheer curtains or whatever that drape down on the side of the bed, and he just gets up and starts spinning around in
Screaming,
a circle.
"Wah, wah, wah."
Have you ever seen like your 2 or 3 year old kid spin around in a circle randomly? That's what it's like.
My 3-year-old daughter just started like putting on her coat by herself. I'm very proud of her, but she spins around to get her arm in the other sleeve. And so she'll just stand there spinning in a circle trying to get her arm in the sleeve.
I would advise you not to ride on any trains in the near future.
Yeah, she'll probably try to terror train me. We then get our opening credits. It's a slow kind of roll. We get kind of an ominous music, and we see like a train, I don't know, garage. I don't know what the appropriate term for a train garage is.
I don't know, a barn.
And it slowly opens up, and we get this big black spooky looking train with a bunch of snow on the ground. Very, very cool kind of opening. Says Terror Train. We get a little thing at the bottom, says 3 years later, and the boys from the fraternity are all getting off a bus.
Fraternity.
Fraternity. They're all getting off a bus to go on the train for a big New Year's Eve train party, as people
What
do.
are you talking about? We've never seen these guys before. It's clearly Groucho Marx and a monk and some politician.
Oh, and a lizard spaceman.
Ah, yes, Lizard Man.
So they're all getting ready to get on the train, and we're introduced to Carney, the engineer, the conductor of the train. And at one point he's talking to Maggie, who I think like is the operator for the train depot.
Yeah.
And drops a line about how, oh, I've been telling him to put a radio on this train for years. An ominous thing to say.
Oh boy, I hope we could communicate with anyone that could help us if someone decides to murder everyone on this train.
What we need a radio on this train because, and I quote, "What if someone gets drunk and falls off?"
Oh yeah, because you can never just stop the train and let them get back on.
And so everyone starts to get on the train, and we've got kind of all the stereotypical characters. We've got Doc, who's a bit of like an asshole, and we've got Prez, who's like the fraternity president, and we've got Ed, who's the funny guy. Yep. And Ed's making a bunch of jokes about like his blow up doll being his date and blah blah blah, and he's wearing a Groucho Marx mask, and then he comes staggering out from behind the train with like a sword ran through him. He's bleeding everywhere, and people are like, real funny costume, Ed, as they get on the train, and he lays there dying.
He's clearly like bleeding out.
Someone then takes off the Groucho Marx, an unknown person takes off the Groucho Marx mask and pushes Ed under the train tracks as the train departs, crushing his dead body, which is arguably a terrible thing.
Yes.
That might be the worst thing that happens in this movie.
Pretty rough way to go.
So we get a bunch of and also we are introduced briefly to the magician, who I did a little bit of research because when you and I were watching it, I went, is the magician's name Ken? Like, I never noticed that. And it is unclear because in the credits he is still credited as the magician, but multiple people refer to him as Ken. And it's like, and so are they referencing Kenny? Because like later on they think the magician is Kenny? Or does the magician's name also just happen to be Ken? I don't know.
Who knows?
But they're partying on a train. Alana's going around talking to her boyfriend Mo. And, they're talking about how Doc's a real piece of shit for what he did to Kenny all those years ago and how this better not be a party like that party. And she's talking to Mitchie, her girlfriend, and they're talking on the train. And the whole time we kind of get this person in this Groucho Marx mask that everyone thinks is Ed, stalking through the train cars, creeping people out.
That funny Ed just walking around like a zombie.
Yeah, real creepy Ed. And so at one point, I think Ed gets ready to confront Mitchie, and then D-Jack kind of intercepts him. He's like, come on, Ed, let's go get a drink. And they go into the bathroom. The person lifts their mask off and D-Jack goes, oh no, it's you, or something like that. And then gets his head shoved through the mirror in the bathroom.
It's those little details that just make this movie great. Oh no, it's you.
And like this is intercut with like a bunch of scenes of partying going on. Ed was supposed to hook up with this girl Pet, and so Pet is going around looking for him, and I think basically can't find him, so winds up going and trying to like hook up with Mo, Jamie Lee Curtis's boyfriend. We get a big performance from the magician, which I was thinking about this earlier, Jeff. There's no way the magician could perform those magic tricks on a train.
I don't think any of those magic tricks would actually work in real life.
Right. Like I was watching it. I just crossed my mind. I'm like, unless they're implying that magic is actually real.
He's a real magician.
Everyone on the other side of that curtain would see him crawl behind.
Exactly. No, it's like with the magic of a movie camera, you could do these tricks. Other than that,
and so I think at one point, Mitchie and maybe Doc try to go back to the bathroom. They can't get in, and Carney's like, "Well, how about you go back to that other one?" And he opens the bathroom door and finds D-Jack's bloody corpse. Yes. And so Carney goes back up to the front of the train and talks to, I think Charlie is the name of like the lineman or the brakeman or whatever, and they're chatting and basically convinces him to come back with him. They open the door and D-Jack's moving. All the blood's cleaned up. And I think Carney says, "Dead drunk." That's what it is. He's like, "I swear he was dead." And he must have been dead drunk. That's what he is.
You know, dead drunk when you get blood all over you, all over the sink and the walls.
Right.
Oh, I was just so drunk.
And then he bemoans the fact that there's so many of these damn medical students on this train.
You know, classically, medical students, the thing you need to watch out for.
And so Mitchie sees D-Jack and that he's fallen down and that he's having trouble walking around. And I think Mitchie says something about like, he has trouble with this kind of thing. You know, his girlfriend says he gets real heavy. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
something like that.
You know, it's like, what are he and his girlfriend doing exactly?
And so Mitchie takes who she thinks is D-Jack back to her little bunk, and you know they start getting a little amorous, and she's like, "Oh, D-Jack, your hand is cold," and then she looks up and both of his hands are off of her.
It's a dead
And
hand.
there's a dead hand on her, and she screams as her mouth gets covered, and we get the train whistle to cover up the scream.
I want to pause here for a second. Amorous? Is this a highbrow podcast?
Yeah.
They were getting ready to fuck.
Yeah, you're right. They were getting ready to fuck.
He's got a heavy dick, apparently.
They've got one of them heavy dicks I've heard so much about. There's more partying going on, more magic. I think at one point during this, the Doc, maybe Prez is there, certainly Mo is there. They're talking with Mitchie and one of the other girls.
Yeah.
And they're going through like their old yearbook, and someone finds like Kenny's page, and they're like, "Oh, hey, here we all are."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, who's that?" "Oh, that's Kenny. He left because he had some kind of problem or something like
He
that."
had a mental breakdown.
And so there's more magic going on. At one point, David Copperfield. Oh, Doc is a real dick to David Copperfield.
Oh,
Yeah.
tricks are stupid.
You're real bad at this, even though like everything he does is actually like really
It's
impressive.
like an amazing trick to be pulling off this cliff. You're stupid.
Yeah, fucking Doc, what a piece of shit.
You know what? I'm starting to come around on these medical students are bad.
Carney then goes walking down the train, and there's a scene where Mitchie's arm like falls out of the bunk, and Carney like turns around and almost walks right into it.
That's true. I forgot
And he like
about
pulls back the thing, and she's got a bunch of blood all over her teeth.
that. Oh, she's fine. Don't worry about it.
And so I think Carney then goes and maybe grabs like Alana and lets Alana know that Mitchie is dead.
Oh man, he must have really had a heavy dick, huh?
And so while that's going on, Mo escapes Pet's advances because Pet like takes her top off in front of him.
Oh yeah.
And Mo goes to yell at Doc about trying to ruin things between him and Alana.
The kind of thing you need to escape, you know.
You know, and so they're watching David Copperfield perform, and while this is going on, mysteriously Mo just gets stabbed in the chest,
Damn it.
and no one sees it coming. Like Mo pretty much just dies off screen. One moment he's sitting up looking at the camera, and the next minute his head's down and he's dead.
Anytime a woman takes her top off in a movie pre-1990, you know she's not going to live long.
Oh no, Mo's the guy.
Oh.
I think Pet survives the whole movie.
Does Pet survive?
I think she does.
I thought she was one of the ones who wound up dead off screen.
The only reason I think Pet survives is because of the shitty Terror Train 2 that came out on Tubi, which we're gonna have to watch at some point, Jeff.
Oh yeah, sure.
Is Pet is a main character in that one, and the
my
first
God.
movie is pretty much an exact remake of this one.
Okay.
When Doc discovers that Mo's dead, he has like a big freak out and is like trying to like do chest compressions as like blood pours all over his hands.
Oh, yeah,
because the
yeah.
dude was stabbed in the heart. And so Mo's like, "Stop the train," and he's pulling all the things to try and stop the train. And then I think we discover that maybe the brakeman's gone, the brakeman's disappeared, but they're able to stop the train. And at this point, I think they kind of get everyone off the train. Carney's going around, tells the two, I don't even know what position they have.
Oh, pause. I got an on-the-ground report here. It says, when Mitchie and Mo's bodies have been discovered, everyone flees outside, not including Pet, which leads us to assume she was likely killed off-screen by Kenny.
Oh, maybe she was. I don't know.
She's dead.
All right. If
Take your top off, you die. It's a hard and fast rule. I've seen Cabin in the Woods.
No, Carney tells the two porters like arm themselves with axes.
Oh my god, the porters are one of the best parts of this movie.
And they go and like they're patrolling the train while everyone else is forced to kind of stay outside. Carney tells everyone to take their masks off because it's a big masquerade party. And so he can kind of see their faces and see if there's anyone there who doesn't belong. And so then Doc basically forces Alana to go back into this room with him. He kind of pulls out an old yearbook and he's like, see, it's Kenny Hampson. You know, he likes magic. There's a magician on this train. He starts kind of putting everything together. They realize, okay, all of our friends are dying. All these people that tried to traumatize Kenny are dying.
Yeah.
And Kenny liked magic. Kenny must be the killer.
No, it's not Kenny. It can't be Kenny. He had a mental breakdown and went to the psychiatric hospital.
Yep. And Kenny, Alana, like Doc locks himself in the room almost, and Alana's able to get out before he's able to like trap her in there with him. And then he thinks, oh, I know Kenny's under this thing, and he goes and he like tries to like basically bust up the whole room.
Yeah.
And he like opens up all the lockers in the room, all the little closets in the room, can't find anybody, goes to walk away, and a hand reaches out and grabs him and pulls him down.
Yoink.
And Doc falls over, starts to freak out, and then like someone walks up behind him and he thinks it's Mitchie, and then the person grabs him by the hair and slits his throat.
I mean, can we be honest? He should have died earlier.
Oh, I agree. Doc's the fucking worst.
I was looking forward to Doc getting killed.
At one point, like Carney tries to get everybody to kind of go into one car, and the magician's assistant tries to get him to come with, or tries to get the magician to come with, and we kind of realize the magician's supposed to be back in the back, but no one can find the magician, furthering the idea that, Kenny is the magician.
It was my greatest illusion. I disappeared from the terror train.
They find Doc's body. I think they go into the room that he was in, can't find him, and Alana like pulls down the sleeper bed, and Doc's body rolls out, and then they turn around and Doc's head rolls out behind it.
That is such a great scene.
The Alana kind of, because it's Jamie Lee Curtis, so she has another fainting spell. And Alana goes and lays down in this one room. We see I think like one of the porters discovers that the head porter has been killed.
Yes.
And with another sword through the chest. And we see the person wearing Mitchie's like old man mask, like stalking into the car Alana was sleeping in, and stabs Alana. Oh no! Except that it wasn't Alana; it was Ed's blow up doll.
Ah, damn.
Alana is able to like fight her way past Kenny, or who she thinks is Kenny, who I guess we know is Kenny at this point.
It's Kenny. We know.
And they fight into like what would you call it? Like a meeting room of the train, or it's kind of like like an office.
It'd be kind of like a conference car or whatever for people to do business in.
And so they kind of fight their way through it, and Alana's able to like escape into this cage where she locks the door. And Kenny like grabs this pole and starts breaking the lights in the room. So the only light is the one in the cage above Jamie Lee Curtis. It's a really cool scene. I think it might be my favorite scene in the whole movie.
It is really well done.
And like Kenny's like shoving the pole through, trying to stab Jamie Lee Curtis. Kenny gets close, and Jamie Lee Curtis grabs like one of those paper receipt like pins and like stabs Kenny in the face with it.
Ouch!
And is able to escape. She runs out of the car. Kenny runs out behind her, and she's able to fight him off and pushes him off the train, or so she thinks.
Oh, so she thinks.
Alana finds they kind of go through that. Alana's still convinced that Kenny was the magician, and she goes into the back, and I don't know if she goes into the back and then they discover the magician's body, and so so she doesn't know who it was at this point, but we get this great scene where like Alana's kind of like sleeping in this car, and then we see Kenny in the old man outfit like crawl across the side of the car train.
She's finally relaxing in there, and then you see that weirdo ghoul crawl across.
And so Alana kind of makes her way up, and she sees Charlie, the brakeman of the train, like sitting at a table. And Alana goes up and she's like, Charlie, I don't know who it is anymore. And Charlie grabs her wrists, and Alana's like, ow, you're hurting me. And Charlie looks up, and it's Kenny. And she's all confused because she thought she killed him. And then Kenny takes off, and they found the body of the magician. Who is this? Who could this be? and Kenny takes off the hat, and underneath is a wig that was the
Magician's assistant.
magician's assistant's hair.
Yeah.
And she kind of puts it all together, and Kenny looks at her and he's like, "Kiss me, Alana, kiss me." The same thing that
she did to him.
she did to him at the beginning of the movie. And he kind of forces her to kiss him, and then starts like doing his dumb little spinning
I was
dance.
gonna say, but don't worry, because there's something for him to get caught in while he's spinning here too.
And so I think he gets like wrapped in some papers or something. And then out comes Carney with a shovel. And there's a door wide open at the side of the train, and just hits Kenny in the head with the shovel, launching him out of the train off of a bridge into like the icy cold water below. And that's how the movie ends.
A classic.
Oh man, what a great movie.
You know, sometimes you see a movie like this, you can't believe it's real.
I think my favorite thing is like I think you and I both said like Prez is our favorite character, and we barely mentioned the guy. He's just this like just this real Jay and Jeff type character.
Oh yeah,
who just like
a man of real girth,
a real corpulence, and he's just like they're just like like the president of the thing, but like everybody likes the guy. He's real nice.
He's nice, easy to get along with.
Doesn't get killed. Prez is the best.
And I mean, he's got some great solutions for the Vietnam issues too.
Do you want to get into our minutia section?
Yes. Why don't we do that?
What would you like to start with this time?
I mean, let's just do what we always do. Let's do sets and costumes.
All right, Christmas sweater, our favorite sets, our favorite costumes. It really does feel like it's filmed on a train, doesn't it?
Yes, they did a good job of capturing the location, I would say.
No, there's a couple times where like I think Carney and Charlie are talking, and they're clearly rocking back and forth like they're you know, because they're in the train car, and it feels tight, it feels cramped. There's a lot of scenes where like you can kind of see the walls on the train on either side of like the scene that they're in, and it truly just does feel like they are on a train, and they did a really good job with that.
Yeah, it's say as far as movies on a train, I'd say that's pretty top tier for train depictions.
You're saying Snakes on a Train didn't live up to the train promise.
It really wasn't great. No.
I liked the head porter's beard. He had a really nice beard.
Oh my god, yes, that guy's beard, amazing. Oh, can we just stop real quick and talk about the fact that there was supposed to be no magician in this movie?
I was actually going to mention that was going to come up later in one of my other things.
But just the magician's like stage show, like the way they got it set up, and like his close-up magic, like it's because it's part of his costume and everything, some of his tricks. It was really good. I thought that they did a really good job with it. But yeah, like you mentioned earlier, the fact that he's doing some of these tricks on a train does kind of pull you out of it a little bit, because it's like there's no way he could do this in this confined space.
Right, absolutely. I was gonna. Jamie Lee Curtis's shirt, the shirt she wears the whole movie, looks really comfy. Like, there was just something about, I was sitting there watching it, I was like, I'd like to wear that shirt. That looks like a comfortable shirt to wear.
I would enjoy that shirt.
It kind of looks like the poofy shirt from Seinfeld, but I'm just like, I don't know. That looks like a comfy shirt. Jamie Lee Curtis being terrorized by this guy from freshman year of college. Like, she looks really comfortable being terrorized by Kenny.
Oh, I know the guy who played Carney, Ben Johnston. He liked working with such young actors. He's like, it's kind of refreshing to be in a horror movie like this versus his usual westerns.
Also, I like the Groucho mask. I thought the Groucho mask was appropriately creepy.
Classic, yeah. But no, I was going back to Carney. I think he just has that kind of commanding presence you would want from like an authority figure in one of these movies. Because, I mean, he's not really like their parents or their teacher or anything like that. He's just some kind of badass on the train.
No, he's a real like Dr. Loomis. Like,
yeah,
he is clearly the Dr. Loomis kind of stand-in, and does it brilliantly. Performs very well.
He's definitely a memorable part of the movie.
What do you want to do next? Christmas carols, favorite quotes.
Yeah, real quick though, before we move on, the Canadian Pacific Railway, of course, because this movie was filmed in Canada, provided the train, and I wanted its original 5 cars that they painted up for the movie, and they had to restore the engine and the historic color scheme because apparently this is like a train that they use for like historic steam train tours.
Oh my god! If it is still in use,
that's what I was gonna say. I was like, it might be possible for us to actually ride the Terror Train.
Oh man, if it is still in use, and we can afford it, you and I might have to go ride the Terror Train sometime.
Yeah, I found this note when I was looking through an article about this movie. It said that as of 2021, that it is still an operable locomotive. So
okay.
I think they still do use it for like historic train tours.
Oh man, we're gonna ride the Terror Train. So yeah, let's get into quotes. Favorite lines, favorite pieces of dialogue in the movie.
I mean, obviously, damn medical students.
I was gonna say I've only got one, and it's damn medical students. It has literally been a thing that you and I have incorporated into our regular dialogue on a day-to-day basis.
Oh my god, it's so great.
Like at the job that Jeff and I used to both have, we would randomly just be like, damn medical students.
It's true.
Just like whenever anything happened, something went wrong, just be like, fucking medical students.
What was it? I love the ongoing dialogue between Carney and like the young guy shoveling coal on the train. Where he's like, "This is a dumbass bullshit job with no future."
I think at one point Carney's like, "I should have gotten out 5 years ago. Then I probably wouldn't be stuck on this train with you."
Oh yeah, because apparently he's an RV salesman for his primary career.
Yep.
But I like the like exasperated line from Alana at the end too, where she's like, "Jesus, I don't even know who it is anymore."
I do like that. I don't have the exact line, but the weird thing Mitchie says of like, "Oh, he's really heavy," or that's what his girlfriend says. Well, you know what I mean. Like whatever it is Mitchie said, I don't have it written down, but because the only line I literally have written down is damn medical students.
I mean, honestly, if you need to sum up this movie in one quote, it is damn medical students.
So let's get into our New Year's spirit. How New Year'sy is the movie? How New Year'sy are the kills?
The movie is not New Year's at all, other than mentioning that it's New Year's Eve, and the kills are not New Year's either.
I think like, I don't know. To me, like a masquerade party, like I would put like a masquerade party right with like maybe New Year's right after like Halloween. Like I just kind of in my mind. I don't know if there's anything to that. Maybe it's the years of watching Terror Train. I
think you've got Terror Train brain, but no,
I've got Terror Brain.
I mean, like I could see a costume party happening on New Year's Eve. It wouldn't be like outrageous.
There is snow on the ground, and I mean New Year's in what is supposed to be Illinois, but is actually Canada. I mean, snow always helps at New Year's time. But yeah, I don't know, like the party kind of does feel like a New Year's kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel like out of place.
Certainly at least a New Year's party, but yeah, the kills aren't all that
really.
New Year's either.
I mean, there are some brutal kills, but nothing really New Year's themed.
Yeah, I don't know how you would, other than, once again, like the masquerade idea that Kenny keeps switching costumes.
Yeah.
Like that's about as interesting, but yeah, they're like, no one gets killed when a ball drops on their head or something.
Or, Baby New Year beats him to death with a giant lollipop.
Or stabs him through the eye with a 1981 New Year's pair of glasses.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
So do you want to do broken bulb, brilliant bulb?
Yes.
Your favorite thing in this movie and one thing you would fix?
I will do that. My favorite thing in this movie is... also, one of the things that I would fix, coincidentally, is when Kenny gets wrapped up in the bed at the beginning and also at the end in the papers. His ridiculous spin move to show that he's having like a mental breakdown, I thought just completely sucks you out of this movie with how ridiculous it is. And the fact that he's just like screaming at the top of his lungs while he's doing it too. I mean, it makes it memorable. That was one of the best things that stood out in my memory about watching this with you after the first time, was his freak out at the beginning and end.
Well, my broken bulb, not so much a complaint, but you kind of mentioned it, that David Copperfield wasn't supposed to be in this movie. Apparently, one of the producers, I want to say like Stephen Curry, maybe that was the guy's name, wanted to get David Copperfield to be in the movie, and so he got David Copperfield to be in the movie. There was nothing in the script for a magician character, so my broken bulb is, what was the idea for the magician character before they were able to get David Copperfield.
Yeah, I do not know.
My Brilliant Bulb is that, I mean, it's a really fun movie. Like it's not great. Like, you know, we just finished watching Black Christmas. Like, Black Christmas is my favorite movie. Terror Train's not great. It's just a lot of fun. It's silly. I mean, if I had to pick one thing, it would be like Prez's random rant about like
Vietnam.
about Vietnam and pork barrel spending.
In the Middle East, yeah. It's just still all topical today.
Yep, things that still work today as well as they did in 1980.
Oh, just one thing I wanted to mention real quick was, so they only made this movie in Canada because of the tax shelter film credits in
Right.
Canada. But I mean, I think it did work out having it set like out in the desolate like Canadian wilderness. That way they couldn't just like, it's like, oh, if everyone's butchering us on this train, maybe we should just like get off and walk somewhere else. Oh, I also wanted to ask, just because you mentioned the whole David Copperfield wasn't supposed to be part of the movie. Kenny's primary disguise or whatever is as the magician's assistant. So how would that have worked without a magician?
Yeah, that's what I like. I want to know what the whole idea
Yeah.
was behind that. Like,
Did they really rewrite that much of the movie to include him, or was it just it was going to be some kind of entertainer? They just didn't know what kind.
there is a band that performs at one point. A little later on, I think after the magician's done performing, there is a band. So maybe the idea was to have
Him be like a member of the band.
and yeah, they had already gotten the band like signed on, so they're like, well, we still got to use the band in
Right.
some way. But now we can have Kenny do this instead. I don't know, but yeah, that's always been my question: is what was the plan for this?
Yeah.
And we'll have more time to talk about it certainly when we get to 2022's Terror Train and then 2022's Terror Train 2.
Stop it. You need to stop.
So let's get into our final rankings. Every episode we rank our movie off of one of three categories, as you do for all New Year's things. Is this movie seasonally scary? Is it ho 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 hilarious? As you know, New Year's ho ho ho. That's what New Year's Santa says. And or is it you'll be sorry?
Well, before I give my final rating, I had something that I forgot to add in our minutia section.
Okay.
So the scene where Kenny plunges into the frozen water was filmed on location in New Hampshire. And the stuntman thought that the water was too cold to pull off the stunt. So instead of him doing it, the art director of the movie actually did it. Because he's like, the water's not that bad, I'll do it.
It looks cold in this scene.
So it's like, yeah, it was too cold for the stuntman, but apparently the art director's just like, fuck it, I'll do it.
Man, that might be the most badass art director in any movie
I
ever.
know, right? The only art director I'm ever going to remember.
So, final ranking, Jeff, what would you give Terror Train?
It's got to be hilarious. And this movie is just, if you love cheesy slasher movies, you're going to love this movie. And just some of the dialogue and the characters, just you'll be laughing constantly. And of course, my favorite and / worst moment of the film, Kenny's freakouts are just, we both burst out laughing, and like we kept laughing probably through like the next 3 scenes about it. It's just amazing to see. You have to see it for yourself.
No, absolutely. This movie, I mean, as much as I say I love this movie, we watch it every New Year's. Like, this movie's just silly. It's just silly fun. It's worth watching. It's worth, and you know, we'll get to it when we inevitably cover Terror Train 2022. But like, this movie has heart. This movie, this movie has something about it. Terror Train 2022 is more or less the same movie, and it just feels like everybody phoned everything in.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's a fun movie. It's a silly movie. The kills are great. The lines of dialogue are weird. There's strange things that happen. There's things that don't make sense. There's Kenny's weird freak out dance. The first 2 times I watched it, I thought the magician's assistant was a different person because that's how good Kenny's makeup is.
Yeah.
Where like the 3rd time I watched it, I went, I wound up like looking it up. I'm like, are these 2 different people? No, they're the same person the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
It's the makeup is just that damn good that
It really
the
is.
assistant does not look like Kenny.
Yeah.
And it's just it's such a fun movie. It's worth watching on New Year's. I would recommend this certainly above Bloody New Year. I've not watched New Year's Evil yet, but I'm sure we'll watch it at some point. But I mean, Terror Train's better than Bloody New Year. That's for damn sure. And I mean, Jeff said about Black Christmas on the last episode. He said, Black Christmas gets a ho 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 hilarious. I think because there's legitimately funny dialogue. I think Black Christmas is a good film. This is a good bad movie.
Yes, it definitely is. Just because it's enjoyable to watch doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be good. But yes, you will not regret watching this.
No, this is as much as Jeff and I laughed about 13 Slaves Till Xmas, I'm pretty sure that's why we were laughing so much about Terror Train. It's the same level of silliness. It's the same level of funny. It's a blast to watch.
It really is. I'd say you won't regret checking it out. And honestly, the way you've described the remake from 2022 reminds me of the Omen remake. Have you seen that?
I've not seen the Omen remake.
It is just a shot-for-shot remake of the original, but with like all the life drained out of it.
The Omen remake we came out on like my wife's 18th birthday because it came out on 6606 or whatever.
Oh, yes. Nothing there, nothing related or anything.
Right. I've always she said that before. She's like, yeah, on my 18th birthday, I had to go see The Omen.
Boy, I'll exit stage left.
But no, we should watch the original Omen. We should find a holiday themed excuse to watch the original Omen.
We should. You know what? Maybe when we inaugurate one of our amazing spin-off shows we got coming down the pipeline. We could do one about The Omen because I want to talk about the cursed elements of that movie because it's one of those movies that gets listed in the cursed movies category. And honestly, if I lay all the evidence out for you, I think you're going to believe in the curse.
Oh man. Well, I mean, I believe Tom Brady sold his soul to the devil, so I'll believe just about anything.
Well, I'll just give everybody a little preview. So, not one, not two, but 3 people before the production of The Omen even started, flights on the way to Italy to shoot the opening scenes got struck by lightning.
I remember hearing that. That is absolutely wild. Man, but nothing happened for the Omen remake because
no one cared.
Yeah, no, not even omnipotent creator thinks they cared too much about Omen 2006.
Yeah, Omen, whatever.
But yeah, let's get into our naughty list where we basically take the villain of a movie and of the movie we just watched and put them on Santa's naughty list, with the naughtiest thing being at the top and the least naughty thing being at the bottom. And honestly, I would put Kenny like right above Terrence Shade. Like,
yeah,
Kenny's not that naughty. Like
he's really not.
He has a mental breakdown and he kills like a bunch of college kids that made his life hell.
As I say, he kills a bunch of people who he didn't like and didn't like him. And I mean, he's killing a bunch of drunk people. So obviously his power ranking is not going to be that high compared to some of the other killers.
Right. Like the ability to switch between costumes is really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, he's no slouch in the killing department. I'd say he's definitely a more dangerous killer than Brooklyn Santa.
Right. But I think the sheer, like, it's somewhat justified. Like when we said, like, we don't, as much as you and I believe Terrence Shade did kill his kids, and that probably makes him one of the worst people on the list.
Yeah.
In the movie, it appears that they're still alive.
I guess.
So
if you're going to take that at face value.
So if we're going to believe that, Kenny's kind of justified in what he did. Like certainly killing Doc. Like the world's not going to mourn the fact that Doc is dead.
I mean, a lot of the people who get killed in this movie, you don't really feel bad for, especially Doc.
Yeah. Like, I feel bad. I feel bad that Ed's dead because I don't think Ed was all that involved, and I don't feel bad. So like Ed and Mitchie are maybe the 2 people who I feel bad that they're dead.
I kind of feel bad for Prez because he was a pledge at the same time Kenny was. It's like he had nothing to do with the prank.
And I think Ed was too. I think Ed was also a pledge because when we see Prez, Ed, and Kenny, they're all wearing the little stupid beanies.
So it kind of reminded me of To All a Good Night with the whole, I didn't even go here.
Yeah, like, whatever. But yeah, so thankfully Prez doesn't get killed, but like everyone else, like, and I think Kenny realizes that too. Prez didn't do anything to me.
It's like, no one who comes off this terror train is ever going to be the same.
Yeah. But so yeah, I think that's a good kind of consensus there. Like we'll have Kenny, kind of there. Yeah, maybe almost as our. Maybe since we've just kind of got Terrence Shade there at the bottom, maybe Kenny is kind of our, like, this is like the kind of you have to be a better person than Kenny, or a less violent person than Kenny, to like fall below Terrence shade.
I mean, at the end of the day, he wants revenge, and the people he wants revenge on kind of deserve it. So, yeah, not that evil, not that naughty.
All right. Well, every episode of this podcast, we like to dig into our email inbox or shove a bunch of junk in our face in a segment we like to call
Garbage Day! Huh? No!
Throw another eggnog on the fire.
Bill Shatner. You fat tub of shit. You
So for
stole
this
that.
for this week's Garbage Day segment, since we didn't get any emails once again, Jeff and I are going to feed our fat faces, and we're going to have the great noggining of 2023.
Oh, no.
Where we're going to drink some almost expired eggnog.
Oh. I see, we like to live dangerously.
So what we have here is A&E brand eggnog. I think the best eggnog you can buy in Iowa.
Yeah, Anderson Erickson's pretty good.
That I also turned into White Russians.
Oh, no.
So I made some White Russian eggnogs. Once again, if you guys remember, Jeff's not much of a drinker, so I'm not expecting him to drink this whole thing.
Oh, God, here we go. Oh, well. That's something, all right.
Oh, man. I mean, what do you think is going to be worse, this or Cobra Cane Mountain Dew?
Probably Cobra Cane Mountain Dew. Honestly, this is not that bad for alcohol.
No, this is a little recipe I found online. I didn't serve it over ice. I didn't have any ice available to me at this right moment. But this is a little recipe I found online, and this is what I've been drinking with my eggnog at right this moment. Normally I like to do bourbon with eggnog, but I don't know. Something about a White Russian eggnog just kind of tickled my fancy. So,
Well, I gotta say, for alcohol, it's not bad.
no, and so, but yeah, A&E eggnog. I think top tier Iowa eggnog. Throw, as I said right before we started this, throw another eggnog on the fire.
Indeed.
And man, that polishes out all the eggnog from my refrigerator.
Well, glad I was able to help.
Yep. So if Jeff and I get sick, I'll post an update on Twitter about it afterwards.
Well, hopefully the alcohol will have killed anything growing in the eggnog.
So that's our Garbage Day segment for this week. The Great Noggining of 2023. Oh man, maybe that'll be a yearly segment. We'll do the Great Noggining on our first January episode.
Yes, we'll do the Great Noggining to clear out Jay's fridge.
So let's get into any promotions we have. Do you have anywhere to start?
Yes, check out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/horror for the holidays. A lot of people have been liking the audio backups. We've been getting some pretty good view numbers over there. Download on your podcatcher of choice, obviously. We seem to have a lot of listeners on Apple, so shout out to all those Apple people.
Yeah, make sure to leave us a 5-star review. Write a review as well. I think anything like that helps. If you didn't like the show, do 5 stars. I can't believe these idiots drank all nearly expired eggnog.
Yes.
What a bunch of pieces of shit.
What a bunch of fat losers.
Real fast, a movie that threw a few shekels at called Present. It's a short film. I mean, it's 5 minutes on YouTube. Just came out. It's about a killer Christmas present. That just came out. You'll see my name in the closing credits or in the acknowledgments. It was a short film, but it was a lot of fun. At some point, Jeff and I are gonna have to figure out a way to do a bunch of these short films as content.
We'll work it in.
But the present looked really cool. I think that was my favorite part of the whole movie. The killer present of the titular killer present looked really, really neat.
Good. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, and it's 5 minutes of your day, and you won't be sitting there at the end saying, "Oh, that's 5 minutes I won't get back." Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I don't know anything else right now. Maybe Hive. I don't know if that works still or not.
Yeah, whatever.
We are at horror, the number 4 holidays, and certainly send us an email. Our email address is horrorfortheholidays@gmail.com.
Yeah, we definitely need some emails because I'm tired of having to eat for these segments.
Oh man, and that's the thing. I've got a bunch of Christmas candy saved in my top shelf to make Jeff eat if we run out of stuff to do.
Oh boy.
Can anyone say gingerbread Kit Kat bars?
Those actually aren't that bad.
I didn't try them yet. I was waiting to save them for a garbage day segment.
I got some in my stocking this
Ooh,
year.
exciting. But yeah, I think that's about it that we got at the moment. We'll see you again in 2 weeks. I think Jeff and I have kind of promised each other we're going to do a bad movie this time because we've done a lot of good ones lately.
We got to pick something off the list that sounds truly terrible.
And so tune back in 2 weeks to listen to our audio torture,
It's our Bikini Babe Christmas.
our Caesar and Otto's Deadly Christmas, our Will This Movie Be Worse Than Barricade episode.
Oh boy. Let's hope not, but I'm going to not cross my fingers.
All right, so we'll see you guys again in 2 weeks. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Goodbye. Garbage day.
Garbage day.
Oh.
All right, I'll be right back. Hold on.
All right. We're holding. Holding pattern. Crawling under the table. Oh. Oh, look, it's Daddy Pig.
Oh, it's my granddad pig.
Welcome to live coverage from Jay's house. I think I can hear Noble walking around out there, and he's talking to someone, possibly his mother. I don't know. No, that couldn't be. Oh, wait, Noble, come here. Noble is a dog, by the way, for anyone listening. Oh, creaky door. There is Noble. It was Noble walking around out there. I knew it. Can't fool me, boy. Noble is a gigantic dog. I know you can't see him, obviously, because it's an audio format, but still. He's massive. You ever seen a dog this big? Well, you probably have, but still. He's a sizable canine. Oh, Noble. Oh. I hear a child wailing. Oh, Noble. Oh, that's definitely Julian. Uh-oh, he's asking questions. Could be dangerous, folks. And we've got Noble. What a good boy. Heckin' good boy. Heckin' pupper woof. Him am good boy. Yes, Noble. Oh, look at you. Look at you. Oh, yeah, smell the microphone. Noble looks like a big old pie-eating dog. Noble. You're so thin, Noble. So sleek. What happened? You're half the dog you used to be. Oh, look at this boy. Look at this boy. Oh, look at him. He's a good boy, yeah. What a good boy. You want to watch Terror Train, Noble? Oh, what a good boy. Look at him. Uh-oh, we got something here. Oh, God, what is it?
Oh, you'll see.
Oh, no.
Noble.
I don't know. I don't like the smell of this. I can smell some kind of alcohol.
Sure can.
There we go. Santa's been hitting the nog a little hard this year.